Welcome to Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toronto and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Borough in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington. Well, you can always tell when you've tuned into a low-budget program. Take a look at our Christmas decorations.
I just found that earlier.
And I was just going to give you the credit for it, but just to say that this is it.
That's what we have so far, anyway, and we'll be good with that. It's small. We're going to build on it as the weeks go on because it's still a little bit early.
Well, we had talked about getting a Santa up here,
right?
But they said it might be a little bit too big.
I have a walking Santa at home. I could always throw that in for fun.
Yeah,
He just rings the bell and does the plays jingle bells.
Welcome to the program, everybody. It is Sportsline Trivia for Monday, and here we are, December the 2nd.
Already, huh?
Can't believe it. And we start, I have my first basketball game next week. My first replay will be sometime after the show is over. I think I come on at 9:30 with mine.
Okay.
And I think your replay is right before the show.
Yeah, we're going to have, this weekend, Highlands will be at the Plum Tournament, and we're going to grab the Friday and the Saturday game. And then we come back Monday night and have a boys' game at home there. So we have 3 and 4 nights.
You won't be here Monday.
I won't be here Monday.
Anybody in the audience want to do a show? No, I've already got.
You already had that lined up.
I already have it in.
We're trying to give notice on those because it gets kind of funky now this time of year. There's girls' games
and you and I are going to be gone.
Same
Monday night.
Yeah, there's going to be one night neither of us will be here. That'll be fun. There's actually going to be no one up here, and you can just call and talk to yourselves.
Anyway, folks, we invite you to call the number 724-236-0430. Chat with us, and when the conversation has concluded, if you are eligible for this week, we will give you a trivia question, and if you answer it correctly, and it depends on the question you get, the value of the prize. So let's take a look at rules and regulations on eligibility for winning. First of all, no matter what the prize, you can't win more than once every other week. Now, the Grand Salami or the Mystery Profile can only be won once in a calendar month because of the high value there, or higher. You could try the Mystery Profile, but once in a calendar month. And also, the multiple choice questions, we need an answer in 15 seconds. The Grand Salami, the more difficult, 20 seconds. And the Mystery Profile, clue by clue. And if you haven't called us within a year, we consider you a first-time caller. And you'll get more than one prize, no matter what it is that you get. The answers to the trivia questions are on my website. It's doubledribblebob.com. And you can tune into my radio show, and I hope you do, Saturday mornings. It's on sports history and sports nostalgia. Saturday mornings, the radio station is WAVL, which stands for Apollo Vandegrift in Leechburg. They're on the AM dial at 910 on the dial. We have callers ready to go. All the lines are lit, but don't give up. 236-0430, local area code 724. Give us a call and we'll chat with you. Anything you want to talk about in sports except birthdays, okay? Back in a flash. Since 1914, people in the local area have relied on the Resevich family in deepest time of need. The Resevich family is the oldest established name in the funeral profession in the AK Valley. Its reputation and unquestionable service speaks for itself. Now the proud tradition of service continues with a 4th generation. The Resevich family serves the AK Valley from 2 locations, 5th Avenue Arnold and Leechburg Road, Lower Burrell.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Welcome to Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, the place for big appetites. Their great sandwich selection includes the Geronimo, piled high with generous portions of meat and fixings. Their barbecue ribs are the best in town. Half rack or full rack, they don't come better. Buffalo Bill's wings are everybody's favorite. Uniquely oven-baked, not deep-fried, and yes, so crispy. Your choice of 13 flavored seasonings. Grab a bucket for the big game. Eat in or take out, credit cards accepted. Buffalo Bill's Roadhouse, Freeport Road, New Kensington, across from Felderelli Square. And if you're shopping for a previously owned automobile, don't forget Tower Auto Sales at Freeport Road in Blawnox has 40 years of experience and all at the same location. So check them out and allow Tower Auto Sales to help you in the selection of your next pre-owned vehicle. Tower Auto Sales, just buy it. Call Mike Fanto if you wish at 412-828-6202. Good to have everybody aboard, Mike. You want to jump into calls? You ready to go?
We might as well go right at it since they're all loaded up and ready to go.
Guys, are we leading off with Tony? Yes. Okay. Tony, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hey, Tony.
All right.
Hey, whose birthday's today?
Me, it's not today. It was a couple of days ago, but I survived.
Oh, okay.
I spent it.
I just wanted to know.
I spent it in Cleveland.
Oh, brother.
I did, and had a great time there too. So
well, that's all that counts.
it was worth it. I saw Cleveland Cavaliers basketball. It was really cool.
Well, that's good.
It was.
Too bad we can't go down here and see a basketball game. Huh?
Yeah, I know. I'll tell you what. That's the first time I've ever seen an NBA game, and it was really. I'll tell you what. The talent out there was pretty impressive. I got to
My
say.
first NBA game was also Cleveland.
Yeah, that's.
It's logical. It's the
It's
closest.
easy. It's
yeah.
close. Home by midnight. You know, it worked
By the way,
out.
Tony, I heard a quick joke. Somebody asked me how to spell purgatory. I said, you got to be kidding me. They said, no, Cleveland.
That was about it.
The mistake by the lake. Okay. Hey, Bob, you know you could dress like Santa Claus on the show, and Mike could dress like an elf if you want more Christmas.
It would work.
Heck yeah, I think so.
Oh,
You know?
I got to find an elf costume.
You got to find a Santa Claus too.
Yeah.
Hey, too bad that guy didn't run over Mike Tomlin.
You know, I said the same thing. It's like next time if they're going to stand out there, then they need to know that they're going to have the possibility of getting run over. So you should have run him over. I'll tell you what, Tony, if he would have run him over, they'd have given him a touchdown.
I was going to say,
Oh, yeah,
probably
sure.
his coach probably said, why did you not run the guy over? You would have been given 6.
I mean, obviously, you obviously hate the guy on the other side. If I had a Steeler guy coming up the sideline and Harbaugh was standing in there, I would have been disappointed if he wouldn't have taken a crack at him.
That's right.
So
You got to take a shot at him.
Exactly. So, but here's the way I looked at it. Somebody said, well, he cost them a touchdown, to which I said, good. Then he did very well. I'm glad he did.
well,
That's
the thing,
the first thing he's done in a while.
somebody said he may lose a draft pick. It depends on what the league decides to do.
Yeah, that'd be ridiculous.
In addition
Well-
to the fun. Well, that is correct. It's over the top.
Now, wait a minute now. Finding maybe $250 million, that's good news. And losing a draft choice is even better news. Because that'll be one they won't screw up.
Exactly. I saw somebody put somewhere that if they really wanted to punish the Steelers, they should give them an extra one.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That would be real punishment the way they've been drafting lately.
Oh, my God. Hey, there were some good games over the weekend.
Oh, there were.
Well, I love the New England game, #1.
Saturday was crazy.
The top
Denver
one was
game?
Auburn. That was great.
That was. It was one right after the other. Now, first of all, what did you think about Brady Hoke going for 2? I thought it was the right move.
What's that?
Brady Hoke going for 2 in the.
Oh, yeah. Well, like you said, hey, we're out here to win football games.
Exactly. And
Whatever.
And-
It's your team.
And then, do you think and then moving on to the Alabama-Auburn game, do you think Nick Saban still wants that second put back on the clock?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he would. But you know what? I think that was a mistake. Just kneel down and go into overtime.
Well, that's what my buddy said as we were trying to figure out what happened, that, why in the world, after you had such a tough time kicking for the entire night, are you going to kick a 57-yarder? Then it turned out it was a different kicker, that he went to another kid. But, 57 yards isn't exactly a gimme. And I saw, and I didn't see it live because we were going to the Cleveland game, and it was just about tip-off, and it was really tight. We watched it up till the end. Alabama got the ball back, and we said, you know what, looks like it's going overtime. We'll just head in because we were right across the street from the arena. So by the time we got in, got our tickets checked, and did everything and sat down, the game had ended, and then my buddy found it on his phone and said, here's what happened. And his first thing is, what are you doing kicking for after what had happened before? But we didn't realize he even changed kickers. But,
well, he didn't even kick it far enough either. I mean,
and he says, well, he boots some. Here's Saban. Well, he boots some 60 in warm-ups. Well, the winning kick against Auburn at the last seconds is not warm-ups.
When you got everybody coming after you, it's a different game.
It is, but I watched one of the highlight videos of it today, and Gary Danielson, before it happened, made a great point. And as I had only heard the Auburn call, and I hadn't heard the CBS call. Yeah. Gary Danielson made a great point, and he said, you really got to worry about a block here because there aren't any athletes on the other side to tackle the guy. And that's why you see that run back so often, is because,
they have the big guys in there.
It's all big linemen to block for the kick. And his line was, there weren't enough athletes, all fat guys. And that's exactly what,
Yep, you're right.
And that's exactly what happened.
You know what? It breaks my heart.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me either. But
no, sir, not one bit.
It doesn't bother me either, especially since I'm an Ohio State fan. So I'm kind of hoping that they're able to beat Michigan State, which I don't know. I don't know. Michigan State's defense.
Michigan State got a nice defense.
Their defense is tough. Now they don't score a lot, and Ohio State's defense was just trounced on Saturday by not a good Michigan offense at all.
No.
They made Devin Gardner look like a Heisman Trophy candidate.
Oh my God,
he's not very good.
I was saying, Craig, when they left the locker room at the beginning of the game, the defense must have stayed in their locker room. Both teams. It was unbelievable. It was like two punch-drunk fighters, fighting it out for the championship.
That's about what it was, but I'll tell you what, they were a great game. And that's another instance for me why I like college football better than I like the NFL. I just do.
Well, we did have some nail-biters, though, all in all.
I guess they have their pros and cons, but I think you're right.
And Bob, you mentioned the Patriots yesterday. I don't know if you saw this, Tony, but one of the guys on the Texans basically accused them of cheating and said that they had to know what was coming, the way they adjusted to what we did. Because when we ran this new stuff, it was brand new, and we only worked on it in practice this week. So they were either watching our practice or they had video.
Yeah, well, naturally, they're still at it.
He could be still at it.
There's a story about Davis and the Oakland Raiders that when they would practice, the moment he would see a Piper Cub or a helicopter, he'd blow the whistle, and they'd all stand around like this until the guy was out of sight.
You know why he was paranoid?
Oh, he was
doing that stuff himself. I mean, he
knew how easy it was.
Exactly. I mean, this is a guy that, they Vaselined up their uniforms against the Steelers that one day so nobody could make a tackle on him in a rainstorm.
Yeah, I remember, going down to the playoff game, and they were against New England. And it seemed like everywhere we threw the ball, everywhere we ran the ball, they were there before we were.
Uh-huh.
I'm going, what the heck's going on here? And then after he got caught, Hines Ward said, boy, I remember that one game. He said every pattern I ran, they were in the right position before I got there.
Even
in every running play. Because in that game it was 4th and 1. And the Steelers were going for it, and that's when they had Bettis.
Yep.
And I remember the coach screaming at his linebacker to come over, and he was pointing left side, which would be their right side.
Right.
And there's Bettis.
He knew right where to
on
go.
On that left side, they stuffed him.
And
I said, whoa, what's that?
Even worse than Hines Ward saying that afterwards, after they got caught, there's video of an interview that he did in the locker room after the game saying it's almost like they knew exactly what was coming.
They did.
And they did.
So the bottom line.
They did.
And the guy's still coaching. You know, and
They didn't
that's
suspend. Yeah, they didn't suspend him any games, did they? No.
So the
forget-
question is,
yeah.
Tony, how do you correct the situation? How do you make it fair for everybody? If
Well,
you get caught
you know what he
cheating,
did?
how about losing 3 draft picks?
No, heck no. You
Well,
don't
here's
lose
the-
nothing.
I have
He's
one.
gone forever. He's barred.
I have
That's how you stop it.
Well, just like Pete Rose, right? Here's what I think that they should do to Tomlin, and I'm serious about this. I don't think this is as over the top as everybody's making it out to be.
No.
And I think people are really losing their minds on this. But if the NFL would really, I think a good punishment for him, and he should get a fine. There's no doubt about that, because even if it wasn't on purpose, you're not supposed to be out there. And they sent a directive out the week before saying don't be there. And
Yeah,
he was.
right.
And he basically thumbing his nose at the league, and we know he's arrogant, and he would do that. Now here's what I would do. They should throw him off the competition committee.
Oh, that's
Nobody
good.
that willingly broke a rule like that.
Scofflaw.
Right. Nobody that did that should have the right to be on the rule-making body.
You're
So-
supposed to set an example.
So I would. That's what I would do. Whatever fine he gets, he should be removed from the competition committee, and that'll teach him.
Yep.
Tony,
But,
let's.
you know, I don't know. You know, you could forget about sports, and I'm talking college too, and that about good sportsmanship. That the kids are going to learn from it and everything. When you see stuff like that, what are they going to learn? You can get away with anything you want to get away with.
I
What are you
believe
gonna learn?
the great Ken
Forget
Patera
it.
said it best: "Win if you must, win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat."
Yeah, you're right.
Tony, let's do some trivia.
All right, let's go with a granny salami.
I thought you were done with that stuff.
No, I'm not done. What did I got to get ahead of a fraud?
Well, don't you have 25?
Yeah, I know, but if he plays this year, he might hit a couple more.
All right.
He might.
Pick a
Jeez,
number.
All right. Let me have between meeny, miny, mo. Let's go with number 4.
Okay, ready to go. Folks, in the control room, they have put it up on the screen, and
Well, I can't see it.
that's
Go ahead.
all right.
Not till Thursday.
Who is the only pitcher who threw a World Series shutout, and in that game, he had 3 hits himself?
He has.
Now, what I should have put in there to make this thing a lot easier, who is the only Hall of Fame? Am I right, Mike?
No.
No, I'm sorry, Tony.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. That's
There's a
why I
hint.
didn't put it in.
So he
is.
isn't a Hall of Fame pitcher.
There's a
If I
hint.
keep talking, as Pip used to say,
Button your shirt,
give it
Tyler.
away.
Holy heck.
He's not a Hall of Famer.
All right. Okay, who's the only pitcher to throw a shutout in the World Series and have 3 hits?
Right.
And I think he played for Boston.
Give me a name.
Let me see. Oh, what the heck was his name? Oh, not on. Jeez. Can't think of it.
Pull one out of the hat.
I'm trying to, and the hat's closed.
This doesn't count for you or against you, but you weren't thinking about Roger Clemens.
No,
Okay.
I wasn't.
Okay.
This guy hit a home run in the World Series, and it helped Boston to win the World Series.
Well,
He was a pitcher. And I thought he had a couple hits in that game.
well, you can't come up with his name?
No, I'm done.
Well, you'd be surprised to learn it was nobody from Boston.
No.
Okay, fine. Then I had the wrong guy.
How about Oral Hershiser?
Okay, he was a good hitter.
Yep.
He was.
Yep, Oral Hershiser.
Tony, thank you.
Hey guys, have a great week. We'll talk to you next week.
All
Thanks,
right.
Tony. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Tony. All right. All right, folks, coming up next, a commercial pause. When we return, we will have another caller. Stand by. Mike and I will be right back.
Husqvarna, taming the wild.
Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Accidents happen. Are you prepared? You can be with a wide range of homeowners insurance options from Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety into their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. My first book on sports is available not only through the internet, but at various local businesses in the AK Valley. It's Bob Tattern's Sports Minutes. Short sports stories, odd and unusual, fascinating and funny, only take about a minute to read. Go online to doubletripplebob.com, where links are provided for Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Word Association to get book information. Get your copy locally at Costello Printing in Tarentum, Blackburn's in Tarentum, Myrna's Brewery Outlet in New Kensington, or the Hot Dog Guys Lower Borough. And our Sportsline Mystery Profile, sponsored each week by Mattio's Pizza and Subs, located in Brackenridge Heights. Everything on Mattio's menu, made with quality ingredients. Their hand-tossed pizzas, their gyro sandwiches, subs and hoagies, calzones, strombolis, wingdings, and more. And I talked to Matt today, and he said, man, keep talking about our great Iron Man hoagie. Mattio's, located at 1000 Broadview Boulevard, right next to Carolyn Bengal's office there for the, they don't call it Justice of the Peace, District Magistrate.
Yes.
Okay,
Used to be.
724-904-7312.
Back in the days, we used to say that. We go down to the
And
JP.
or we call him a squire.
The Squire, that's right. That was George's dad. My grandpa called him the Squire. He called him the Squire, he did. Quickly, before we go on to the next call, a couple of pit things. Aaron Donald was named first team All-ACC today, which isn't a big surprise. I think he has a good chance to be first team All-American, which they don't happen often. And on the basketball side, Lamar Patterson was named the Player of the Week in the ACC. 21.7 points, 4.7 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals in the games last week in Brooklyn. So
good stuff.
Good stuff for Lamar Patterson. Pitt's off to a good start. Oh, and also against Duquesne, Micah Mason couldn't play, broke his hand. So he's supposed to be back by the end of the month. So.
All right, Paul is up next. And Paul, welcome to the program. Good to have you.
Paulie.
Hello?
Yeah, Paulie, how are you?
Are you there?
Not too bad. How are you?
Good.
Okay.
How was your holiday?
Oh, it wasn't too bad. How was yours?
It was great. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna need. We're either gonna need him to speak up a little bit or turn him up a little bit. All right, Paul, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, how was your trip to Cleveland?
It was great. I like Cleveland, actually. I was actually born not too far from there, so it's kind of like a homecoming for me. Not really, because both of my parents are from here, and they just happened to live out there at the time. But the basketball game was good. It seesawed back and forth, and Cleveland ended up winning at the end. A big fourth quarter, had a nice little rush there, and Andrew Bynum was just too much to handle. I got to tell you, at one time, there were 4 Duke guys on the floor.
Wow.
And
how about that?
so the Duke guys were, and Mike James from Duquesne, the only Duquesne player in the NBA, is still playing. So he played very, very few minutes, but he did get out there. But the Bulls are missing Derrick Rose, obviously, and Kyrie Irving is definitely a player for Cleveland. But it was a big crowd. It's very entertaining. I was pleasantly surprised by the atmosphere and everything there for the game. It was really
You might know the answer to this, but there was an played for Duquesne and became one of the assistant coaches with the St. Louis Cardinals. You remember?
Dave Ricketts.
There you go.
Dave Ricketts was also with the Buccos for a while.
I was going to mention that first.
Absolutely.
Okay. So anyway, Paul, good to have you.
You tried, didn't hear you.
I said good to have you.
Oh, yeah. Mike, did you happen to see Bruce Drennan in Cleveland?
I did not see Bruce Drennan, but you'll be happy to know on the announcer side of the deal that RN was my buddy of mine knows the play-by-play guy for Cleveland. So that's how we got hooked up. There is they have the retired numbers hanging in the rafters of Quicken Loans Arena. And right next to the retired numbers is also a banner with the retired microphone of Joe Tate.
Oh, there you go.
How about that, huh? So it was like Joe Tate is a legend up there, as is Bruce Drennan, for that matter.
I love you, Cleveland, as you would say.
They would. I remember back in the day, those two guys did the games on cable. When we first got, we first got some expanded cable on Comcast here in the local area.
They were on Channel 43.
Channel 43 out of Cleveland, and it was Joe Tate and Bruce Drennan, and we got but we get to see American League Baseball, and we also were given TBS out of Atlanta.
And
WOR.
our Channel 9
out of New York, and we get to
yeah.
see Mets, yeah. So people now.
And we kept up with Ralph Kiner,
We kept up with Ralph to make sure everything was good there. But they, a lot of people don't, the younger members of our audience don't know, just think that there are all these baseball games on every day. But back, back even 30 years ago, it wasn't that way.
Despite the fact, I want to drop this in if Paul doesn't mind. Despite the fact of Ralph's age, it goes to show you how valuable a guy can be with his rich history in the sport of baseball, that they bring Ralph back every once in a while, and he just sits there and talks about how things used to be in baseball. And I enjoy it. I really do.
And I wouldn't let Joe Taylor or Bruce hear people say about it's a purgatory. I heard that before. So they'd be upset about it, I bet.
Probably would be.
Paul, I've got a problem hearing you, but perhaps Mike doesn't, but I like you better in person.
Yes.
Right. So, I think I'm eligible for anything for trivia today.
What's he?
Okay,
what's he
which one do you want to do? Say it again, Paul. I couldn't hear you very well.
Mystery profile, I like to
Mystery
try.
profile, okay, we can do that.
Michael?
All right, let's go. Again, for Matty O's, Bob just told you all about it, so we're in really good shape there.
And I'm going to challenge Paul to get up here and try the Iron Man.
The Iron Man, to try to get it all done. You could. I would probably put my money on Paul in this situation.
Yeah, I did it twice.
You've done it twice. See that?
Is the Iron Man Hogan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right. They're ready in the back, so let's throw it up there and see what we can do. The mystery profile sponsored by Matty O's, as Bob just said, Broadview Boulevard in Brackenridge, right next to Carolyn Bengal's office. And you can always call them at the number you see on your screen. So here we go.
Okay.
The $100 clue. In my senior year in college, I ran for 6 touchdowns and scored 43 points myself in a game against Colgate.
Walter Payton.
It is not Walter Payton, but that's a fine guess. Here we go. The $75 clue. In the decade of the 60s, I was a first-round NFL draft pick.
Jim Brown.
Oh,
Hey!
75 smackers.
Oh, you hit it big. It is Jim Brown. You see, because I was in Cleveland, I brought that question back. Not really.
Would you give him the rest of the clues for the
Yes,
fun
let's
of it?
flip over all the cards, shall we? Mr. Surf. Okay, here we go. My single-season rushing yardage record is the oldest franchise record among all current 32 NFL teams. He still holds the Browns record for yards in a season. 17 years after I quit the game, I mused about coming out of retirement to add to my rushing yardage total. He was upset that Franco was breathing down his neck. And he was going to come back and get some yards because he didn't want Franco to pass him. And the Tinker Toy clue, in my senior year in college, I was an All-American selection in the sport of lacrosse. Rules were changed in college lacrosse because of Jim Brown. That's how good a lacrosse player he was. Some people say better lacrosse player than football player.
Ooh.
I find that hard to believe because I still think that Jim Brown was the greatest football player of all time. Regardless of position.
If he's watching, there's a check coming your way.
And all I know is this, that when we lived out there and my dad would watch the games, he had no bigger proponent than him, that he thought that he was just unbelievable.
I have a story to tell about their kicker, Lou Groza,
The toe.
when we're done with,
indeed the
Paul
toe.
here. Hey, Paul, congrats.
Thanks, Paul.
Oh, thank you.
And we'll have some prizes. We'll back up the truck
That's right.
and bring it to your home address.
You hear that beeping sound? That's the prize patrol.
Oh, there you go. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Paul. We'll see you.
When Lou Groza kicked for the Browns, he had 2 aides. When he would go back, he would set up tape. He would roll out this white tape
All right.
that would direct him to the ball. And the second, after the ball, he would put more tape in the direction because they would line up between the hashes.
Remember, he was straight ahead. There was no...
Right, he didn't go off to one side.
Right, he kicked straight ahead with
But
the
he
toe.
had two pieces of tape that he would use. Eventually, the other coaches began to complain and saying, you know, what's this all about? So they took any, I'm trying to think of, it won't come to me, things that help you out in your,
An
you
aid.
know, an aid.
Yeah.
Any kicking aid is taboo, thanks to Lou the Toe.
We know what I do? Golf, seriously, is that I'll take a leaf, a piece of grass, anything small, and put it about 6 inches, and if I can, to put it 6 inches in front of the ball, and I want that to be my aim point. So that way, if I'm aiming 6 inches in front of the ball, and you golfers know, because it's like when you're horrible like me, that you need anything you can, that you want to hit that ball coming down,
Yeah.
and the divot needs to come after you've hit it, and especially on long irons, that's in the fairway. That's important. So I could see where the tape would come in handy for him.
Let's go to Bruce, the limo man. Welcome to the program.
Big Bad Bob, how are you?
Good evening.
Did you see in the paper the Baldwin High School wrestling coach died?
I did not. No, I missed
I
that.
didn't see that either.
George McCormick. Does that name ring a bell?
No, it doesn't. I am the last guy about high school wrestling. I am so not good at it, and I've never been a fan.
Did he accomplish anything, Bruce?
Yeah, how'd he do?
I don't see where he
I don't know.
accomplished
Okay, well, it's...
I just wonder how young, how old.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, wrestling has such a great following at the high school
was
level.
born in 1967.
Boy, young guy, too. That's too bad.
Yeah. I
he's
gave your doubledribbleBob.com to Gene Stereotor.
Gene Stereotor. Gene Stereotor got some
He lives in Uniontown.
He got some good props from
Yeah, did you hear
Joe
that?
Buck and Troy Aikman on Thanksgiving Day. They really gave him some good props. They said when they see his name, they know everything's going to be okay.
His brother's with the NFL, but they're not together anymore.
Oh, okay. They split them up. And you know, when the season's done, he goes and referees college basketball.
Oh, is that what he does?
Yes, he does. He referees Big East. Used to do Big East. No, I don't know. The officiating's kind of changed. I know it did in football. I haven't seen enough hoops.
He owns a cleaning supply company in Washington, PA.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's terrific. He's very good.
Oh, very good. And also, I gave your doubledribbleBob.com to Dick Stockton and his wife.
There you go.
I'd like to hear from
His
Dick.
wife is Leslie Fishon.
Did you know Dick Stockton when he was here before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Of course. I've known him for 30 years.
Early 70s.
Yeah. And he went on to Boston after he left Pittsburgh and made a great career up there.
But every time he does a game here, he always talks about KDKA.
He loved it here. It sounded like he had he has a soft spot.
As soon as he left, Stan Savran came into town.
Right about, yeah.
At about maybe a year apart, or it could have been the same year. But the point is, one left, Stockton, and Stan Savran came in.
Stan's been here for a long time. I listened to Stan today. Yeah, I listened to
He's
Stan.
been
Stan
here-
Savran's real name is Savransky.
Stan's a Cleveland
Yeah,
guy.
he's from Cleveland.
Yeah,
Nice Jewish boy.
Stan's a Cleveland guy. Yes, he
Spent
is.
some time in Florida. I forget the name of the team that he covered with the USFL. But like all
And
the
they
others,
folded it up.
he's still waiting for the paycheck.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm ready for multiple choice. I think it's Bob's turn.
All right, sir.
It is.
Here
Thank
we go. You any good at Russian weightlifters?
No.
All right, here we go. You have question number 8 in rotation. Who is the only major leaguer since 1900 to post 7 hits in a 9-inning game? And your possibilities are Ty Cobb, Pete Rose, Ichiro Suzuki, or Rennie Stennett.
Give me the question one more time.
The only major leaguer since 1900 to post 7 hits in a 9-inning game. No extra innings, just a regular 9-inning game.
Ty Cobb.
No, it was Pittsburgh's own Rennie Stennett.
Rennie Stennett.
In a game against the Cubs, the Pirates won 22-0.
John Candelaria started that day.
Okay.
Three rooms, the keys to the Comcast Cadillac, if you can tell me who started that game for the Cubs.
Oh.
There's a long drive in deep right center field, and this one is for Bob Tattern's wife, the Babe.
Good night,
right.
Limo.
Break time. We're coming back. We've got a couple of more callers.
Rick Russell, by the way.
Oh, thank you, Mike.
There you go.
Thank you.
Sorry, we were going to do it.
Back in a flash.
Auction and Discount Warehouse, Route 380, Murraysville.
See us first for holiday decorations and supplies. Our entire inventory's on sale at discount prices. Don't wait. Supplies are limited. Since you'll spend less than you thought on decorations, see us for gifts. Our inventory of new name brand furniture, tools, housewares, pet supplies, automotive supplies, and toys are also on sale at discount prices.
Get to 380 Auction and Discount Warehouse today, Route 380, Murraysville.
Arnold Furniture has been the area's favorite furniture store for over 37 years. The selection just can't be beat. 4 floors of living room, dining room, recliners, bedding, accessories, and so much more. You'll always find friendly personal service from the Miller family, and you'll love the prices where we consistently beat the competition. Plus, free local delivery, free setup, and free removal of your old furniture guaranteed. Visit Arnold Furniture online at arnoldfurniturinc.com or stop in and see us today.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
The best products, the best selection, the best customer communication, and the best service after the sale are all yours when you shop for your pre-owned vehicle at Tower Auto Sales. Just buy it. Get to know the folks. Mike Fanto is the guy that you want to talk to begin with at 412-828-6202. 412-828-6202. Folks, you're watching Sportsline Trivia. Bob Tattern here with Mike Pavlik. We're on for another 22 minutes or so. Nice to have you with us, and I'm glad you joined us. We have Mr. Tampa Bay, who is, are you still packing suitcases?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on?
Oh, not much. I'm home for the week, so I figured I'd give you guys a call.
I'm glad you did.
Thanks for thinking of us.
Where did you settle again?
Bellsville, Washington County.
Okay.
Best Center School District.
Yep, right.
Down in there, Best Center. Hey, the reason I'm calling is I hope the Steelers get hefty fined. I don't know if it came out yet or not, but I like to see them lose a draft pick and get a $100,000 fine for Tomlin doing what he did on Thursday night.
I'm going to look right now. I haven't seen anything in the last couple of minutes, but yeah, I think a fine will definitely, nothing yet. The fine will definitely happen. It may even approach 6 figures. I don't know if the Steelers will get a fine too, but it'll be interesting to see what they do. I don't know about all the people I trust say that the draft pick talk is just talk. That isn't really going to happen.
It might wake them up. It might wake the whole league up if they do a draft pick.
Well, I'll tell you what. If the team reacted the way they reacted when they suspended Ben those 4 games, I hope they suspend them again. Because that could be just a boost they need to finish it up. They went 3-1 without Ben, and they were all fired up about it. If the league goes over the top, they may react. Look, they got to win their last 4 games to make it. Well, they really don't have to, but if they finish at 9-7, I think they'll get in. I think they'll get all the help they need. But that all starts with winning this week, and what's that offensive line going to look like? Who knows?
Right. The reason I'm calling, I'm going to say this real short and sweet. I think the Steelers are going to run the table.
Okay.
They're going to win the 4 games. I'm probably going to 2 of them, but I'm going to go. I'm trying to go to the Sunday night game against Cincinnati. Then I'm going to go to the last game of the year against Cleveland.
Okay.
But I think they're going to run the table.
If they win them all, they make it because they almost got all the help they needed. All that needs
This past week, yeah, they
all they need to happen is they have to. If Baltimore just lost to Cincinnati, then tying them is good enough. So that's only one game you have to make up there, and then in the course of that, beating Miami this week will take care of that because that they would have tied them and have beaten them, so you can wipe the AFC East out of the picture. Baltimore only have to lose 1, so you're basically then battling with Tennessee, who you lost to, so you have to stay ahead of, and San Diego.
Right. Okay, I'm going to go for the multiple choice because I know there's other callers on the line.
All right, Mr. Tampa Bay, here we go. This will be number 9. What player committed the most career turnovers in postseason play? This is a basketball question. What player, NBA, committed the most career turnovers in postseason play? Was it Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, Scottie Pippen, or Magic Johnson?
I'd have to say Scottie Pippen.
It is not Scottie. It is Magic. He had 696 turnovers in 190 games.
Playoffs, yeah.
Playoffs.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys next week.
Thank you, Mr. Tampa.
Thank you for calling. Thank you for your service to your country.
Yeah, absolutely. And go Bucks. They've made a bit of a turnaround.
That's
good
right.
for them.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Let's go to Mark. Mark, thank you for calling us. You.
Oh, good evening, fellas.
Hey, Mark.
Did you happen to see the Auburn-Alabama game? Not listening to your show yet. I don't know what you talked about yet.
I saw most of it.
He saw most of it. I didn't see it.
I was traveling for some of the first half. I saw the second half of the second quarter, the whole third quarter, and unfortunately, all but 30 seconds of the fourth quarter.
No, I mean, even Nick Saban said that's never happened to him, or he's never even seen that happen for a field goal return on a college for a game-winning touchdown.
I guess that's pretty much the thing you least expect to happen, isn't it?
What the irony is that they put 1 second back on the clock to keep the game from going into a regular overtime, overtime playoff system, and that second actually cost them.
Mark, I mentioned that to Tony earlier when he called that, do you think he really wants that 1 second back now? Because he politicked to get that 1 second on the clock so they'd have a chance.
Yeah.
And everybody, that was watching it thought that they were just going to try a Hail Mary and go for that, or maybe to try to get a pass interference call, which would move you 15 yards closer and you can kick the field goal. But he went for the field goal with a freshman kicker. With a kicker that he hadn't used to kick, they had trouble kicking all night. And figured, 57 yards, if it's no good, okay, it falls dead in the end zone, we go to overtime, and no penalty here. Wrong.
However.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see, when they showed some of the replays, I didn't see, I guess they have camera angles, the whole actual field. Where were all the other players for Alabama when this was going on?
Well, the thing is, Mark, when you're doing this, you have a bunch of linemen in there. It's all linemen to put into block. The only semi-athletes out there would be the holder and the kicker, the only guys that could move at all. And by the time you're blocking and you get down in the pile, and by the time it got back past those guys, once that returner passed the line of scrimmage, none of those guys could catch him.
By the way, I've heard this discussion before. Have you ever seen a kicker, field goal kicker, extra point kicker, whatever, on the play, make a tackle? I have yet to see it.
I've seen punters do it, and I've seen kickers make the tackle on a kickoff.
They tend to shy away.
I've seen Sweezum do it the last couple of years. Remember how bad our special teams are. And you worry about the kicker getting hurt. Jeff Reed would do it, but Jeff Reed was a little thicker than some of these guys. He could actually take the blow a little better.
I remember a game in which, I can still remember the camera angle. They were in the end zone, and they were showing a poor attempt by Matt Barr in fact, it was Cleveland.
Did he try to trip him?
He stuck his leg out to try to trip him, and the guy went over it and just went right by him.
Okay, now one other quick thing, and then I'll go for the trivia. If you were Michigan, would you have gone for the 2-point conversion?
I would, and I said it before it happened, that as they were driving down, I root for Ohio State. I'm an Ohio State guy. As they were driving down, I said, gosh, I hope they don't score a touchdown here because I'm afraid he's going to go for 2 if they do, and then they lose. And they don't have a chance. And because when you're the underdog in a situation like that, and you have that one crack to make 2 yards and get out of there. And I've seen it happen on many different levels. I saw it happen in high school in a playoff game. Lucero did it at Montour against Highlands. He didn't make it, but you get. And I saw Guy Montecalvo do it at Washington against Burrell, and Burrell won the championship. You got to give the coach credit for that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was saying that's what the announcers were like saying. They think he didn't want his guys to play. He figured if they could end it there, that would be it.
The game is over, and there isn't anything that can be done. And I thought it was a gutsy call, and if they make it, he's a hero. Like I said, if that would have been my team and my coach would have done that in that exact same situation, I'm all for it. And I think coaches should do it more. You know, there are times that I'll say it at the end of a game, man, maybe they should just go for 2 here and try to get out of there. Especially if you're like the underdog. I think that plays into it a little more.
Okay, Mark.
Yeah, I'm ready for multiple choice.
Multiple choice.
Yes, sir.
And is it my turn?
It
Okay.
is, sure.
You have question number 1 in rotation. We are, by the way, we had 1 winner tonight so far, and that was on the mystery profile, a $75 winner. Here we go for multiple choice. What National Football League coach took a team to postseason play the most times in his career? You got that?
Yeah, okay.
And your possibilities are Don Shula, Paul Brown, Tom Landry, or Marty Schottenheimer.
How about Shula?
Yeah, you're correct. I don't have the answer as to how many he did, but Don Shula is correct. Mark will have a prize coming out to you.
Well, my wife guessed it to help me, so I got to give her the credit.
What'd she guess? Did she put her finger up in the wind?
No, she could hear and say, yeah, she just, the women's hidden vigorish or whatever you call it.
I understand.
All right.
Hey, tell Mike, the only reason I went Michigan State, our president where I work is a Michigan State graduate, so if Michigan State wins, maybe he'll give us a better deal for the year.
Well, I'm good. I'll be good with that,
Other than
Mark.
that, I don't care.
Exactly, because these things are all, we all look at these practically and how they affect us, so I completely understand that, and I don't hold that against you at all.
Okay, now if Ohio State would lose, though, now that changes the top 10. Who's next? Who's
Well,
third?
if Ohio State loses, then the winner of the Missouri-Auburn game is going to go for sure.
Missouri, okay.
Because you have to look at this too. Auburn will play Missouri, and the winner of that game I think will go. And I had some spreads here. Florida State has to play Duke in the ACC championship game. They're 30-point favorites.
Okay.
So I think that they may win that game. If Duke wins that game, then it's going to throw everything out of proportion. I don't know what's going to happen.
Okay, fellas, hopefully I can call next week.
Okay, good morning.
Okay, thank you. Have a good week.
All right,
Bye-bye.
break time on the show. Mike and I will return. Our phone number in the meantime at 724-236-0430 is the number.
Quickly, before we go, I did want to mention the Pirates made a trade today.
Oh, yes.
They got catcher Chris Stewart, who's a good field no-hit catcher, a backup from the Yankees, and avoided arbitration and signed him to a contract. So he is going to be the backup. It looks like Tony Sanchez will start the year with no injuries, of course, in Indianapolis. So Chris Stewart on the team, and to make room for him, they released Michael McHenry, who had that bad knee injury at the end of the year and had surgery, and goodness knows when he'd be ready anyway. So they let the Fort go to make room for Chris Stewart. He's a very good defensive catcher, and I think that's what they wanted, and that's why they did that. Also, today is the arbitration day where you have to make your offer for arbitration to the player if you're going to hang on to them or not, or cut them loose. And Travis Snyder is on that list of guys that may be cut loose by the Pirates, and they just may let him go. And then the offseason gets going with a
one of my wife's favorite players. Snyder.
Yeah. And the offseason gets going with a vengeance next week with the winter meeting. So we'll see if the Pirates are going to do anything. They've been very quiet so far. Money's been being thrown around, but not by them.
All right, folks. Coming back in a flash, the show continues. The last 10 minutes upcoming. This is where you get the absolute freshest deli meats and cheeses. Fazio's Italian Deli in Arnold. At Fazio's, you're getting only the best and freshest selection. Fazio's has its own bakery and offers you fresh baked bread, rolls, pastries, and more. Pick up individual salads to go, Italian sausages, hoagies, custom-made sandwiches, even party trays for your next get-together. Freshness and quality every time at Fazio's Italian Deli, Leishman and Dre in Arnold.
There once was a hungry road that wouldn't let drivers get very far. It wore out their tires, forcing them to buy new ones. Then along came the Michelin Man who proved the right tire changes everything. With long-lasting tires in place, those drivers were back on the road to saving money. Drive longer with the Michelin Defender tire, backed by a 90,000-mile limited warranty. Michelin, a better way forward.
Available at Highland Tire under the bridge in Tarentum and Freeport Road in Natrona Heights. Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Westmoreland provides a full range of coverage for all of your automobile needs. Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. Well, Christmas is coming, and here's a gift-giving idea. My book, Bob Tattern's Sports Minutes. Over 300 short, one-minute sports stories in the book. They are odd, unusual, the goofy things that have happened to the athletes and events in sports down through the last 100 years, okay? The book is available at Blackburn's in Tarentum, Costello Printing in Tarentum, Myrna's Brewery in New Kensington, and the Hot Dog Guys in Lower Borough. So the book is here. It's a little under $20, a good stocking stuffer or a gift for a sports fan. Bob Tattern's Sports Minutes, okay? Or you can go on my website. By the way, I just found out in the last couple of days, if you have a Nook, you can also get the book for your Nook. Did I make...
You're a poet and don't know it. The technology has caught up with us.
All right.
Isn't that amazing?
We were looking at, what was it that we were looking up earlier? We were talking about, athletes. I got a list.
Okay.
You did the research on the Cy Young winners. There are, what, 5 of them?
5 Cy Young winners. This came up over the weekend.
Now, with who?
Some people that I was talking to.
Oh, okay.
One of the people was former Major League pitcher Bob Pretty, as it turns out. I didn't even know it was him until he had left.
But he's not on the list.
He's not on the list and has never been incarcerated, as far as you know. What a character this guy is, though. Holy smokes! I remember him. That was enjoyable. He hit one Major League home run, and he hit it off of Louis Tion.
Oh.
How impressive is that? But
is he the one that when he would pitch, he would wheel around?
Louis Tion would wheel around. The question was, 5 Cy Young Award winners have spent time in federal prison.
How many can you name?
How many can you name out there in television land? And
let's go through them slowly.
Okay, first, we'll try to.
And they're all living. We found out that they're all living.
Yeah, we'll try to tick them off in the order that they won the Cy Young. Okay, so the first one would be Denny McClain, and I think he's been back and forth a couple of times. And he had money laundering type issues, extortion type things. A lot of his stuff had to do with gambling and whatever. He's back out. I saw him at one of the Tigers games this year. They showed him on TV discussing whatever. He's been back. Welcome back into the fold. Next guy, Fly to Blue.
Oakland A's, Charlie Finley.
Giants.
Who did he finish up with?
He might have finished in San Francisco. He had a good career there, too. He was involved in the drug trials in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And his time in prison was due to whatever went on with that. And also, speaking of drugs, Ferguson Jenkins. Now, a lot of people might forget this one. But Ferguson Jenkins, a great pitcher for the Cubs who won 20 games 5, 6, 7 times in a row, pitching with not a great Cubs team.
And from Canada, by the way.
And from Canada. And he had, I believe, it was also a possession of controlled narcotics issue. So that was Ferguson Jenkins. So then we went on to Dwight Gooden, and you're going to see the trend here is also drugs. Dwight Gooden was also a drug issue, and he's been in and out of rehab, trying to get himself straightened out, and he even showed up with Dr. Drew, for goodness sakes.
And
Lamar Hoyt which is an interesting one. He pitched for the White Sox, and he won the Cy Young, I think it was in '83 with the White Sox, when they won the division when La Russa was there.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a San Diego guy, and I guess what he was doing was he was smuggling drugs back and forth across the border from Tijuana. And that was Lamar
And Hoyt would be the oldest of the group, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it would be Denny McClain.
McClain?
Yeah, because Denny McClain won his Cy Young in '68.
And Hoyt?
And '83.
Okay.
Hoyt would probably be the youngest. Dwight Gooden would be the youngest.
Okay.
Gooden's first probably Cy Young was probably in '84. And Vida Blue, I know, won in '71.
So that discussion led to another. And we only have about 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But for the heck of it, and we don't have any calls, but if you want to jump in, 724-236-0430. There are the names of the Cy Young Award winners that Mike had just mentioned went to a federal prison. How many Heisman Trophy winners are in a federal prison? Well, the name that is probably more familiar to anyone is O.J. Simpson. And the only other one that I could think of was Billy Cannon, who played for LSU. And the story about him, Mike, in the days when he played pro football, they had the territorial thing. You went to the team closest to where you played college.
Yeah, the USFL had their draft set up like that too, which I thought was a really good idea when you were trying to build an audience.
Why? Exactly, because you wanted the guys that had already made a name for themselves there were now at a higher level.
And the Pittsburgh Maulers got the Pitt and and then Penn State guys would split between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. They could do that.
So our question is, can anybody in the audience name any other Heisman winner that may have spent time in federal prison? So that's on the agenda.
We're going to research that.
Okay.
We're going to take a look at that with the Heisman coming up, and unfortunately, this year's winner, who hasn't been named yet, could end up there too. And that's the problem that people are having with it. They're going to vote with Jameis Winston. They don't know what to do. He hasn't been charged with anything. So, that's going to be a very difficult decision for those guys that have to vote 1, 2, 3 on that. And everybody's been looking for somebody else to pick, but he's been the best player this year and probably would deserve the vote. But people are a little gun shy. I even told Bob, I looked at the official Heisman website, and Reggie Bush is wiped off. They completely don't even list that year. I believe it was 05. And they go from 04. They go from 04 to 06. They completely wiped him off there.
Okay, let's spend about 30 seconds or so on the Steelers. Miami at home, is it as easy as it appears?
No.
Is the point spread 3-7?
It's 3.
Oh,
Steelers are a 3-point favorite. I looked that one up. I keep track of that there. Yeah, they are a 3-point favorite, which is basically just the home field, so they call that basically an even game. The biggest problem I see is the fact that they lost all those offensive linemen at the end of the Baltimore game. And I don't know who's going to be playing. It looks like Cody Wallace is going to be the center this week. Good luck.
Yeah, well,
good luck.
Folks, anyway. Hey, we thank you for joining us, and I hope you had a great Thanksgiving.
Yes, and hope everybody have a safe holiday season coming up.
Now that we're into December, keep in mind that, I have run into so many people in a hurry. And you know me, Mike. I mean, I don't like the heavy foot. But I almost get wiped out by some of these discourteous drivers. Take it easy.
Take your time, people.
All right. Anyway, join us again next week, same time, same bat station. I'm Bob Tattern.
I'm Mike Powell.
And good night.
Thank you for watching Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toronto and Natrona Heights, Matteo's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Burl in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington.